Now, this SNK NeoGeo MVSX will be the ultimate home arcade for fans of the classic SNK titles, as it will include both the MVS Arcade and the AES home versions of games from fan favorite series like The King of Fighters, Metal Slug, Fatal Fury, Samurai Showdown, Art of Fighting, and sports titles including Baseball Stars Professional and Top Players Golf. The games are all housed within a stylish tabletop arcade with an attached base that has a 17-inch 4:3 LCD screen and has 2-player support with analog joysticks and buttons. Fans of the classic SNK NeoGeo MVS arcade machines are sure to love the tabletop's arcade aesthetics as it's decked out in red and white. It also has familiar button placements such as the select game button and has its signature marquee showcasing beautiful box art from the most popular franchise titles of 50 games. Pre-orders for the SNK MVSX began back in September 2020. The tabletop arcade will officially launch in November of 2020 under G Stone Group's Unico brand. A base will also be available for sale, which will transform the tabletop or bar top arcade into a nearly 5-foot tall, full-size arcade cabinet. Now, this cabinet is retailing at $499.99, which includes the base. Hey guys, it's Steve from the Tech Buzz and the Retro Buzz, and today I want to talk to you about this beauty sitting next to me, and this is the MVSX cabinet from Unico. And I want to do a little bit different of a review. As you probably know, this cabinet has made its rounds. Well, not this cabinet specifically, but a bunch of these cabinets have been going out to different reviewers and will continue to go out to different reviewers, and they are going to be giving you their take on it. Well, I'm still recovering from surgery. I still got my bandage on, and so I'm one of those guys that I want the product for at least 2 weeks before I give a review. And what I want to do is I want to show you, as I have a game night every Saturday night, what average people who are not collectors of these cabinets, as you can see I've got a ton of cabinets here in my arcade room and game room, what they thought of this cabinet and if they thought it was worth the $499 price point. Let's take a look.
They're really solid, not too loose, not too tight. It's real responsive with the game. There's no like latency or anything. Well, I tried the golf game, but I'm not real familiar with the older style games for golf before like the PS1 and stuff, so I was getting a little confused with this. So I switched over to, I'm on Metal Slug 5 now, because it's a game I've had some experience with, and it plays just as well in here as any system we've tried it on, or arcade. Sounds really good. It definitely has a nice crisp sound to it. It's not too high pitched, nor has too much bass. It sounds just right. The screen's real solid. It's just real vivid for the type of graphics of the time. It doesn't look like it's like expanded to fit the view. It looks like it's meant to be played on here. For the price tag at $499, serious gamers, I guess more or less the arcade fans will really enjoy this, because everything about it I really feel is really good quality from this the different arcades that I've tried. Not that I've tried a ton, but they definitely did everything well with this. For me personally, not being like a huge arcade fan that's gonna have like arcades in my house, I would say maybe it's a little on the high side. Comparable to what else is on the market, it's really not terrible as far as the different prices, where you might only get a few games on one, so I guess that's not too bad considering the price. I guess the bar top is pretty nice. It's a good height for me, with this stand, I mean, I don't know how tall the stand is, but I feel like maybe it'd give you a little bit more room to adjust just being a bar top. I mean, I don't know what exactly everyone would do with it, but versus a stand, it'd only be a set height versus, I mean, you could, I guess, build a stand for it if you wanted to make sure it was like the height that you liked. Because I don't like to crouch over too much with some of the back problems I have with this. I can stand pretty much straight and just look a little bit down at it, and I don't have to like bend my back or anything to play. It's pretty comfortable to play like this.
Oh my gosh, I really like the graphics. I think it has like there's like a nostalgic feel, but it's also like a good mix of today's what would you say, graphics. Like they're clear, but yet they still have that nostalgic feel to the game. And the controls, I find there's no lag with the buttons. It's pretty accurate. Like if I want my character to jump, he's going to jump as soon as I hit the button. It's not like, you know, there's a a long wait. So and even like with the stick controls are very sharp. Like there's no lag with the stick. The buttons are pretty easy to navigate. Like I'm not having to like, my fingers aren't struggling to hit the right buttons when I want. So overall I really enjoy this cabinet. I think it would be a fun game for any kid, any age. I mean, we're all kids inside, so I think it would be fun to have in anywhere. I think the monitor is pretty clear. I don't have any complaints about it. Like, you know, the color, it's great color. It's not too like in your face. It's not too bright. You know, it's the perfect, I think it's the perfect level of light and everything. I think it's clear. I'm not having a hard time seeing like if there's a dark part of the map and say there's a bad guy hiding in it. I'm not having any problems seeing that. You know, I think it's a great cabinet. The sound is pretty clear. They have there's no lag with the sound. There's no it doesn't sound staticky. You know, it kind of has the nostalgic feel like the graphics do, you know. Right now I'm playing Metal Slug 2, and in fact I didn't even know this game existed until I got to test this cabinet, and I played all of the first one within one night and just loved it. So I was like, you know, tonight I was going to try out Metal Slug 2, and it's just as good as the first game, and I'm really enjoying all the graphics, the sound. It's just a lot of fun overall. Oh, I honestly think that's a reasonable price considering all the games that are on it, and it's a good size. You know, I feel I've played some of those smaller tabletop ones, and they're okay, but for me personally, I like to have a bit of a bigger screen. I mean, it's still fairly compact in size, but, you know, I'm not, you know, getting that it's like too small to see to see what I want to see, or with the buttons. I feel like this is, for me personally, I like this size because it, you know, it's more it's not as small as the tabletop ones, but this one is like right in between, so I really like this size. Let's just say I got excited on a couple levels, but no, it didn't move at all on me. You know, I can really get into the game and not worry about this shifting anywhere. I find it's pretty stable. You know, I really like it.
I like it. It's interesting. So the screen's not bad. It's just in the menu, just the glitch. How it was kind of funky at first, but other than that, I mean, it wasn't bad. The controls are good. This one has more of like it's more pixelated, I guess. And I mean, it's still clear and stuff. Is that right? Yeah, I think it's clear. I like it. I mean, the games in general are pixelated, so you're gonna have that. But other than that, I mean, it's good. I mean, from what I can hear, it's good. I mean, the sound in it is. I think that's different. That's about it. I just think it's different. I can't really tell right now, but other than that, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I guess like the speakers at the bottom are just different. It's not like how at normal, like the normal cabinets, like you can hear them as well, I guess. I don't know. I don't really like, I mean, the games on this are good. I would probably go for another cabinet, a full-size cabinet, I guess, for the price. You know what I mean? I would probably go for like an arcade 1-up, just because like, that's just more what I'm familiar with. But, and for the price, I know what games I'm getting. This one, I'm just not hot on the games on it, that's all.
Overall, what I think of this cabinet is that the buttons are easy to maneuver. You can very easily put 2 people on it. As far as the graphics go, I feel like I feel like they're really clear. They're easy to, as far as details go, I think they're pretty good, pretty decent. The sound, I mean, there's a lot of sound going on in general, but as far as the sound for this particular cabinet goes, I feel like for the size, I feel like it's a good, as far as the sound goes, it's pretty good. I think as far as the speakers being in front of you directly and as opposed to being above you, I think that has to do with it. It helps you hear your game better, so you can respond in a faster way, I feel.
Okay, so as you can see, everybody had their own view and opinion of this cabinet, some of which they really didn't care. They thought it was a really good cabinet. But there's one thing that I think the consensus was across the board. It's a great cabinet, but it's not something that they would buy when there's other cabinets out there for that price point. This cabinet does have a lot of fighter games. If you're into fighting games, this is a cabinet for you at the $499 price point. But if I'm going to be completely honest with you, unless they were to give me this machine, I would not buy it for $499. I think the sweet spot for the bar top would be $399 or maybe a $299 price point, $399 with the base. That's what I would say for this cabinet. I think $300, even though there's 50 titles, I get that. But more and more when you're seeing other competitors like At Games and Arcade 1-Up bringing full size to 3/4 scale out for less, you have to take that into consideration, unless you're a die-hard SNK fan. Now, keep in mind, all of these cabinets, it doesn't matter whether you're buying from Unico or from Arcade 1-Up, from At Games, they're all emulated. So before you purists out there start leaving comments and state, oh, but why would you pay that for a emulated system? You heard it from the folks that were playing it. They thought it was fun. It was a lot, they had a lot of fun with it. I myself had some fun with it. I think it's a really, really good cabinet, well built. But I don't see it any different than an Arcade 1-Up. I really don't. There's nothing on this thing that justifies, except that it's a replica of the MVSX original cabinet. One of the things I was really disappointed with is the shimmering of the refresh rate. Now, I did speak to one of their representatives in the Facebook forum, and he stated that it was due to the refresh rate and that there's a patch coming. But guys, come on. You're sending this out for review for guys like me and other people to review, and you don't give us the best of the best. You're not giving us what the final product is going to look like. You got to know that this is going to come up in a review, and nobody's really brought attention to this, so I'm bringing attention to it. And I want you to be, I want people to know that I'm being honest. You can see it on the screen. At first I thought it was just a menu system, but it actually happens in the game, and I was kind of disappointed about that. And it was so bad, in fact, that one, as you heard with Allie brought it up. She saw it immediately. So certain people are going to see that. That's a deal breaker for some people. I understand it's not going to be in the final release, but it's there now, and we're reviewing it now for a November launch. I think that overall, I think for somebody that's got a game room, it's a perfect addition to the game room, but are you going to go out and spend $500 for it? That's the question. And I personally am not going to be one of those guys that are going to spend $500 for this. Because I have the little Neo Geo Mini that hooks to my TV. I can play it with controllers. It plays emulated just like this. It plays just as good, if not better. And that's what I'm gonna do. But overall, I think if you want a cabinet, one of the things that I really did not like about this is the speaker location. The speaker location is right in the front next to the faux coin door. It should have been up under here. Honestly, if you want that immersive experience on an arcade, just about every other arcade company has that. In fact, Arcade 1-Up used to have it right in the control panel, which is still better because at least it's shooting up at you. But in the front, it's like hitting you in the chest. It's hitting it. You're not hearing it. It's got to be up under here. So that's another thing that I think is kind of a deal breaker. The volume's loud, but it's not too loud. I think the At Games Legends and even some of the Arcade 1-Ups are louder than this. Again, are these deal breakers? No, but I'm trying to be fair and I'm trying to be honest. I think it's a good representation of how the original MVSX looked. The buttons and sticks, if I had to be completely honest, they're no better than Generation 1 Arcade 1-Up. One of the big things with Neo Geo has always been the clicky sticks and the clicky buttons. And as you can hear, you have a little bit of clickiness, but it's no different than the clickiness that you have on your Arcade 1-Up. And the buttons are no different than the cheap Arcade 1-Ups. So this is definitely something, if you buy this cabinet, you're going to want to upgrade to a better stick and button that was used in the original if you want that exact feel. I mean, personally, that is more of an importance to me than whether the system is emulated or not, because I already know that going into it. But for a $500 price point, I think the sticks and buttons should have been a lot better. Overall, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of this machine. Mr. Douglas Smith of Cool Toy, one of my co-hosts on the Retro Buzz on Friday, did a fantastic overview. What I wanted to do is get down to the things that I didn't like and the things that I did like with this cabinet, as well as real people and what they thought of this cabinet in real life experience, so that helps you decide whether you want this cabinet. If you're a game enthusiast and you have a game room, then you're probably going to buy it. But for me, I would say if they gave me the arcade, I'm not going to turn it down. I'll put it in my arcade, but I'm not spending $500 for it. I'm sorry. That's just my take from this, but overall, the craftsmanship and the build are fantastic. Guys, I really hope you like this review. I hope you consider subscribing, leaving a comment, because I try to comment back. Like this video, share it out to the rest of the community. Let them know, hey, you really like this review. I'd really appreciate it. Check us out every Friday night at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Retro Buzz, where we get into things like this, as well as other cabinets and pinball tables and things like that. Check it out. We really appreciate it. Until next time, guys, keep it buzzing.